What is good, creatives? Tunji again from Caesar Graphics. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to achieve 3D party title with Cinema 4D, Illustrator, and Photoshop. If you need the exercise file, you know what to do. Simply make use of the link in the description section of this video. So sit back, relax, and keep watching. In the exercise file, you're going to find a Cinema 4D project. All right. So what I'm going to teach you is how to save your title from Illustrator, import it into the already designed project, render it, and take it to Photoshop and give it a party look. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys how to achieve in this tutorial. So let's start. This is the title I'm going to be using in this tutorial. You can also find this in the exercise file folder. All right, so I'm going to teach you guys how I'm going to save this project, and I'll take this to Cinema 4D. So I'm going to start with this, with deleting this first. So I'm going to hit the delete key now, and I'm going to delete this. So I'll save this. I'll hit Ctrl Shift and S. All right, I'm using Windows, so if you're using the Mac, all right, you know the right key to hit. All right, now I'm going to call this board, and I'll hit the save button here and change this to Illustrator 8. And then I'm going to select the OK button. And then I'm going to hit Control Z on my keyboard to bring back the text. All right, and I'm going to delete this, okay, and delete the letter M, and then just save this. All right, so I'll hit Control Shift and S again, and this time I'm going to call this King. All right, now don't forget to make your save as type Adobe Illustrator AI here. All right, so I'm going to select the save button again, and I'm going to make sure I change my version here to 8, because if you don't change the version to 8, Cinema 4D is not going to read the file. All right, so I'm going to select the OK button, and I'm going to hit Control Z again to bring back the letter M, and I'm going to hit delete now, and then I'm going to save the letter M again by hitting Ctrl Shift and S. All right, and I'm going to just call this M like that, and I'm going to select the save button here and go right here and select Illustrator 8, and I'm going to select the OK button again. So yeah, so let's go straight to Cinema 4D. I start giving the title the 3D look. So I already have all the layers and everything set here. All right, so I have the camera here for you. All right, let's start bringing in our Illustrator files. So I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to select Merge here, and I'll go right here and import the board. All right, the board is the first thing I'm going to import here. So I'm going to select the Open button here, and I'm not going to tamper with this, and I'm going to select the OK button like that. Then I'll go back again by going to File again and go to Merge. I'm going to bring in my next Illustrator file, which is this, and I'm going to select the OK button, and I'm going to hit the OK button again. All right, then we're going to do the same move again by clicking on File, Merge Objects, and I'm going to select the letter M here, and I'm going to select Open, and I'm going to select the OK button. We can't see what we have here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I need to hide this so I can see my title. So I'm going to go right here. All right, this is it here. So I'm going to double click on this to hide it, and I'll do the same thing here. To do that, I'll do the same thing here and here like that. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to select the 3 Illustrator file that I just import now, and I'm going to make this visible because so I'm going to make this title spot very important. Remember to make this title spot visible, because it's what we're going to be using to adjust the size of our 3D text so as to make it fit the frame of our project. All right, so I'm going to make this title spot visible. All right, and I'll go straight to the scale tool here and make this real big like that. All right, then I'm going to select the move tool, and I'm going to move this down to this side here. All right, because like I said, this is what we are going to use to set the size of our 3D title. And I'm going to turn off the camera, all right, because I need to see my title clearly, all right. So I'm going to move this here. Then I'm going to click on this view icon here, and I want to be sure if the Illustrator file is on the same line with the title spot board that I have here. So as you can see here, the title is on the same line. All right. So if I zoom in here, you can see it's almost on the same line with the board. So this is the board here, and this is my title here. All right. So I'm going to click on the view icon again and come right here, and I'm going to hide the uh the title spot here. All right, because I don't need it anymore. All right. So yeah. So let's start playing with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the plus sign to see the parts from the title here. I'm holding down shift to select all the layers. I'm going to drag this out from the group, and I'm going to right click and say connect object plus delete. All right. So we now have the parts on one layer here. So I'm going to call this king. All right. So watch, if I hide this now, you see we have everything on one layer. So I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to hit the delete key like that. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my extrude knob here. All right. Then I'm going to start with the king of the. All right. So I'm going to drag that and put inside the extrude knob here. So I'm going to call it king because it's always good to name your layers. All right. So I'm going to call this king off. So make sure your camera is turned off when you're doing this, because if you tamper with the camera, you may end up finding it difficult to position it to the right view. All right. So I'm going to move this back now. But if you are already a Cinema 4D user, you're going to find it easy to position your camera to the right spot. All right. So yeah, this is okay for me. All right. So I'm going to just reduce this a bit. Okay. And I'm going to make a copy of this. So I'm going to hold down control and drag this up like that. And I'm going to call this king of the Sioux. All right. Because if I let's just call it king of the and then light, because I want to have a light outline around my title here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the material to the layer. All right. Then the extrude of this should be smaller, and this also needs to be smaller. All right. So this should be smaller. Let's make it a bit bigger. So this here should be smaller like that. And I'm going to use the move tool. All right. I'm just going to use the move tool to move this back a bit like so. Okay. And I'm going to add this, and I'll make this a bit smaller like that. All right. Yeah. Or let's just add more extrude to this. All right. Let's add more extrude to this. And then I'm going to move this. I'm going to move it back a bit. Let's see what we have now. All right. So let's apply the extrude knob to the letter M. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down control and make a copy of, no, not this. So let's make a copy of this extrude here. So I'm going to hold down control and just move that here like that. And I'm going to call this M. All right. Then I'm going to open the extrude and delete the outline that we have inside the extrude. And I'm going to drag the letter M and drop inside the extrude like that. Make a copy of this by holding down control, and I'm going to drag down and position this here. And I'm going to call this M glass. And then I'm going to apply the glass material to this. like that. And this particular extrude should be, let's make it 2. All right. And I'm going to move this out, and let's see if I move this forward a bit like that. So I think I need to adjust the move icon here. All right. So I'm going to click on this icon here. I'm going to move this down. I hate the fact that is right here on my screen is giving me serious issue adjusting it. All right. So yeah. So I'm going to turn this off now and see things are working the way I want it now. All right. So yeah. So this is the glass layer like that. All right. And I'm going to apply the same material. All right. The orange material. I'm going to apply it to the letter M here. So I'm going to drag that and drop here like that. All right. Now this is beautiful. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is the board here. So I'm going to duplicate this extrude here by holding down control and drag down, and this should be here like that. I'm going to open the extrude here and hit delete on the letter M, and I'm going to drag this and drop here like that. All right, now as it is now, this is not looking the way I want it, so we need to adjust this. So I'm going to move this down like that. All right, or let's just make it a bit bigger, and I'm going to delete the material that I applied to this. All right, then I think I need to adjust this again. So I'll click on this tool here and just move this down like that. All right. And I'll turn this off because I want my adjustment tool to be closer to my object. All right. So I'm going to move this back a bit like that. All right. So we're going to move this to somewhere here like that. Now this is looking nice already. So I can just make this. This is good. So I'm using my mouse wheel to zoom in and out. All right. Now this is good. All right. Then the other thing we're going to do now is to hold down control and make a copy of the parts that of our board parts here. So I'm going to hold down control and drag this out to make no, sorry, it should be the board and not the extrude. So I'm going to hold down control and I'm going to drag this and drop here like that. All right. So I'm going to call this board and I'm going to import sweep knob. All right. So this is the sweep knob here. I'm going to click on that like that. And let's see, this is our sweep knob here. And I'm going to use a rectangle part here to create my sweep. All right. So I'm going to scale this down. All right. We're going to scale this down. I'm going to make it real small. All right. So where you position this does not really matter. What matter here is the size. All right. So I'm going to make this real small like that. And I'm going to drag this and drop inside the sweep knob. And I'm going to drag this also and drop inside the sweep knob. All right. So I think this is going the wrong way. So we need to make this be above this like that. And as you can see, this is looking the way I wanted to look. All right. So this is what we're trying to achieve here. All right. So in order for us to see what we're doing, I'm going to apply this silver material to this so I can see what I'm doing when I'm adjusting the size of the rectangle part. So I'm going to click on the rectangle part here and I'm going to just adjust the width and make the height bigger than the width like that. All right. So let's see what we have. Now this is looking excellent. All right. So what I'm going to do now is let's just call this. We need to apply the material that I designed for the board. All right. So and we need to apply it to the board now. So I'm going to use this checkboard material. I'm going to apply it to the board. All right. This is it here. So I'm going to apply that and drop this here. And this is beautiful. All right. Then this silver material here, I'm going to apply it to this like that. All right. And I think we are already getting to what we are looking for here. So now I'm going to make this visible. All right. I'm going to make this objects visible now, and we need to now make this. We need to make this position where we want it. So this is supposed to be here. So there's only for you moving it. So what you need to do is to shift select all the objects and drag them inside this group here where we have insert title here. So I'm going to drag that and drop inside the insert the title here, and then you see, bam, our title is now on the right position. All right, I need to fix it because we can see the object behind our title pushing out from our title, so we need to fix that. So I'm going to select the move tool here, and I'm going to drag this forward a bit like so. All right, this is good. All right, then if I turn on my camera now, you see what we have now. So the other thing we need to do now is to apply our HDRR image to the HDIR material here, because right now our chrome, our light is not really balanced on the project. So I'm going to double click on the HDRI material here, and I'm going to locate where I have the HDRI image. All right, from the exercise file. So I'm going to click right here. All right, so this is the HDRI image we're going to use. So I'm going to click on this and hit the open button here, and I'm going to close this like that. So now under the render settings here, I already activated global illumination. All right, and so I already set the right frame for the project, so you don't need to do that anymore. All right, so let's hit the render button here and see what our project looks like. All right, so this is what we have now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the setting button here, and I'll go under save. All right, and I'm going to locate where I want the file saved on my PC. All right, so I'm going to save it inside the render folder here, and I'm going to call this 3D art, and I'm going to hit the save button here, and I'm going to make sure that alpha channel is checked, straight alpha is checked, 8-bit is also checked, and I'm going to show you why we check all these boxes here when we get to Photoshop. All right, then I'm going to close this and hit the render button here. All right, so I'm just going to click here to render the project, and we are going to wait till when the project is fully rendered. All right. All right, our rendering is done. So let's go to Photoshop and add depth to our 3D project. Okay, so I'm going to create the new document now. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to select New. All right, then I'm going to give my width 1000, and height is also going to be 1000. All right, so I'm planning to post this on Instagram. So I'm using the Instagram square frame size here. All right, so I'll leave every other settings the way they are, but this part is very important. Make sure your resolution is set to 72, and make sure your color mode also is set to RGB. So I'm going to select the create button now, and I'm going to drag my 3D art here, and I'm going to drop here. Now I'm not dropping this on the project, I'm dropping it right here to create a new project of the 3D title. All right, so I'm going to drag that and drop here. All right, so I have the two files here that we got from Cinema 4D. All right, so the reason why, so how we're able to get this is because of the options, the straight alpha option that we checked. All right, so I'm going to drag this and drop here like that. I held down shift as I drag and drop to make the layer be at the center of my frame. Very important. All right, so I'm going to go straight to the channels tab here, and I'm going to hold down Control and click on the thumbnail of the blue channel here, and I'll go back to the layers here. All right, now I want this part to be part of the selected area, so I'm going to select the lasso tool here. I'm going to hold down Shift and just draw a shape here to add that to the selection, and I'm going to do the same thing to this side here. Right, so I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to just close this like that, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm holding down Shift now. Now please make sure you don't make this get to this area. All right, it's very important. Don't make it get to this area of your project. All right, now So we still need to add this part. So I'm going to hold down shift and just do the same thing here like that. All right. So I'm going to hide this. Then I'm going to select the layer of the background here and hit Control J. And if I hide this, you see we have just our title without the background. All right. So I'm going to drag this and drop on my party 3D title here. And I'm going to convert this to a smart object, activate the free transform and make this smaller like that. And this should be at the center of my frame like that. All right. Then I'm going to go to filter here and I'm going to go to sharpen and select on sharp mask. All right. So why I do this is to give the 3D the realistic look. All right. So I'm going to make my resolution. I'm going to make my amount 71. Radius is going to be 1.9. Threshold is going to be 28. And I'm going to select the OK button. And I'll go straight to curve here. And I'm going to click on the clip icon because I only want this to affect the 3D title. And I'm going to push this down here for now and do the S curve and push this up like that. All right. Then the other thing I'm going to do again is to add the curve again. And then I'm going to click on the clip icon. And this time I'm just going to move this up like so. But I'm going to hide this for now. All right. And I'm going to select the magic wand to here and just shift select the 3D text. All right. I'm going to shift select the 3D text here. So I'm holding down shifts as I do that. All right. Then I'm going to make this visible like that. All right. And I'm going to select the brush tool. Make sure that on my brush settings here, I'm on the soft round brush and make sure your flow here is set to 8. All right. Now, the reason why we are making this move now is because I want us to be able to control the strength of our brush. You know what? Let's just take this out from here for now because what I'm about to do now may affect this side and it's not going to give me what I'm looking for. So I'm going to just take this out like that. So I held down Alt 2 as I draw the parts. All right. As I take out the selected area. All right. So I held down Alt. So I'm going to select the brush tool now. All right. And our setting is still active. And I don't want the curve on this side here. So I'm going to make sure that my foreground here is set to black. All right. So, but because I'm using a graphics tablet, I'll make my flow 100. So for my graphics tablet users, make sure your transfer is checked here and make sure you have your pen pressure active. All right. So let's do it now. So I'm going to just take this out from here like that. All right. So I'll do the same thing here like that. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So then I'm going to hit Control D to take the marquee out from, the scene like that. And I'm going to go straight to the magic wand again and just hold down Shift and select the 3D text again like that. Let's see if we add this also. Let's see what's gonna look like. All right, now this is good. All right, so I'm gonna select the brush tool again, and then I'm gonna just apply that here. All right, like so. And do the same move here, like so. I'm just gonna take it out from here, like that. So I'm gonna hit Control D. All right, and I'll move this up a bit more, like that. All right, this is beautiful. All right, so let's start dragging in our background. So I'll go back to the exercise file and I'm going to drag my background image in like that and make this bigger like that. And this should be somewhere here like that. Going to move this to somewhere here and this should be behind this. All right, then I'm going to drag this again and drop here. And then I'll make this real big. All right, and this should be here. I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. Okay. Then I'm going to drag this image and drop here. And because I just want this side. I only want this side of the image. So I'm going to hit Control J. All right. And I'm going to move this and drop here. Activate the free transform. I'm going to right click and select scale. So I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt and I'll move this down like that and right click and say split transform and make this bigger. So I'm holding down Alt as I drag that uh, point there, and I'm going to change this to screen. And this is going to be somewhere here. I'll make a copy of this, activate the free transform, right click, and then select flip horizontal. And this is going to be somewhere around here, like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this, and then this is going to be above this. All right. Then I'll go to filter, blur, and hit Gaussian blur. And my radius is going to be 15.3, like that. And I'm going to select the OK. And I'm going to activate the free transform, and I'm going to rotate this way. I'll make a copy of this, activate free transform, right click and select flip horizontal, and this can go somewhere around here like that. All right. Then the other thing I'm going to do again is I'm going to make a copy of this. All right. And I'll move this to somewhere around here. Then I'll change the blend mode to screen. All right, so this can be somewhere here, and I'm going to add a layer mask to this. I'm going to select the brush tool, increase my brush size, and I'll go to my brush settings here. Under my brush tip, I am going to make sure I'm on the soft round brush and make sure transfer is checked. For those of you using your mouse, please don't still make this the figure we have there before. I think is 8, but don't tamper with the figure, right? So I'm going to just move that, take this out from here like that. All right, take it out from here like that. All right, then here switch to black here. All right, so I just created a new layer by clicking on the new layer icon here, and I'm going to call this black. Then I'm going to gently apply the black to the layer like that. All right, I'm going to apply that here like that. All right, then so I'm going to create a new layer again by holding on Alt and click on the new layer icon and call this lights. So I'm going to select the OK button. Then this is going to be on screen, and I'm going to select the brush tool. I'm going to hold on Alt. Now make sure you're on the brush tool. So I'm going to hold on Alt and sample this color here and just gently apply the brush to the back of your 3D render title. Now, as you can see now, we're beginning to give life to the project. All right, I'm sure somebody's enjoying this. So if you have not subscribed, I would advise you hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing more of tutorials like this for you guys to watch. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add more depth to my title. So I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the new layer icon, and I'm going to call this light dodge. Okay. Then I'll change this to color dodge, and then check the fill with color dodge, neutral color black here, and I'm going to select the OK button. All right. Then I'm going to zoom in. Now here, I'm going to make sure that my brush color is going to be something around, it's going to be around here. Okay. Then I'm going to select the OK button. Okay. I'm going to reduce my brush size. Then I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to apply the brush like that to this side of the projects. Okay. So I'll do the same move here. I'm going to select the brush tool now, and I'm going to create a new layer again. I'm going to call this lights. Okay. And I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. Select the brush tool, still on the brush tool. All right. So I'm going to make my brush real big. All right. Then I'm going to apply the lights here. All right. I'm going to apply light here. I'm going to apply light here like that. Apply more light here like so. Do the same thing here. Create a layer and call this dodge again. Okay, and I'm going to double click here and double click on the layer to activate layer style. And I'm going to change this to color dodge, and I'm going to turn off transform here and select the OK button. And then I'm going to gently apply the brush like that. Now, this time you need to softly apply the brush, because if you make it too strong, it's going to make the project too exposed. All right, it's going to make it too exposed. So please watch out for that. Be careful with the way you apply it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add the light effect now, still from the exercise file. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to select the blend mode here and select screen, and I'm going to rotate this way and make this smaller. This is going to be here, so I'm going to rotate this and position this here like that. All right, I'm going to make a copy, activate frame transform, then rotate this, and this can be somewhere here like that. And we can even make a copy more and just position this here like that. Okay, and then drag the shine image, make it smaller, change the meld mode to screen, position this here, make this a bit bigger, but make a copy of this, and we can position this here like that. All right. So I'm going to add curve again and drag this down like so, and hit Ctrl I to reverse the mask. And then I'm going to select the brush tool and switch to white here, and then apply the curve back to the project like that. All right. So one other thing we can do again is we can click here to sample this red color. All right, we can just make it a bit reddish. All right, select the OK button, and then we can apply that here. Okay, we just apply that here and apply it here like that. Yeah, so this is beautiful. So I'm going to stamp visible this because we need to take this to camera raw and do the final color grading. Control Shift Alt and E to stamp visible the project, and I'm going to convert this to a smart object. So why I'm converting this to a smart object now is because as possible I may not really like the result from camera raw. So in order for me to be able to go back to my last move, it's better I convert this to a smart object. All right, so I'm going to go to camera raw filter under the filter option here. All right, then I'll go under, I'll start with basics here, and my basic here is going to have little touch of yellow. So I'm going to make the yellow, let's say 2. All right, the exposure, I'm going to drag that down like that. All right, and add more contrast to this. And for the highlight, I'm going to push that down. The shadow, I'm going to move that down a bit. Then white needs to go down a bit like that. All right, so let's make white -3. Then black, yeah, I'm going to reduce black because I really want the the darker part of the, the shadow on the project to pop. All right, then I'm going to go straight to vibrance here. So I'm going to increase the vibrance to add more saturation to the midtones. All right, so I'll go on that curve here. Then I'm going to do the curve S curve. All right, the advantage of doing this is to add more depth to the mid-tone shadow and highlight. All right, then under the color mixer here, I really want the orange to pop. All right, so I'm just going to increase the orange, the saturation of the orange here like that. I'm going to close this, and I'll go under split tone here, and I'm going to add more red to the shadow. So I'm going to move this forward here like so, and I think right now I'm beginning to love what I'm looking at. So I'm going to close this and go under effects here and add more grain to this. All right, I'm adding grain, which is noise, to the project. So I'll go under detail here and add sharpen to this. All right, I'm going to make this more sharper like so. And I'm going to select the OK button. Now let's take the before and after. So this is the after and this is the before. All right, so I'm going to stop here, and I am going to show you guys the project I created with this. I'm sure you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be posting more tutorials like this for you guys to watch. And remember to check the post notification bell so you get notified when I post the tutorial. I can wait to see your version of this tutorial. If you are able to achieve any project using what you learned from this tutorial, remember to post it on your Instagram account and remember to tag me. My Instagram handle is at Caesar Graphics. Thank you all for watching. If you have any comments, kindly drop it in the comment section. Thank you all for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.